So it's Friday evening, and this afternoon there was yet another meeting in relation to the road closure on the A446, which I and representatives of Coleshill Town Council, Curdworth Parish Council and Kingsbury Parish Council, all from the SMZ, were sat with 4 people from Highways Planning at County and 4 people from HS2/BBV, with some very, very large maps. And these very, very large maps had some road signs and diversion signs where they're all planning on going. And we were asked to fill out what else we want. And if you consider the diversion route as a big moat, basically I just went around sticking a little tab of post-it on every drawbridge with the request that it says local access only, to try and keep things out of the village. There was an immediate focus on Waterall, but I actually detailed, please forgive me here, but I said, no, I think we should focus on some outlying areas, particularly Curdworth. So, because if we can save Curdworth from a lot of encroachment, then we'll probably save Waterall from a lot of encroachment too. As opposed to, we are actually very much in the centre and surrounded by things. So things have, with the exception of Marsh Lane and Watton Lanes in Gilson Road, things have got to come in to us or through somewhere else. So anyway, we had those conversations. There will be the opportunity for you to find out the latest information directly on the 11th of February, Methodist Church between 4 and 6, where there'll be a drop-in centre. There's also one the subsequent week in Coleshill, which I think is at the town hall, but information will be posted to everyone in the village. But obviously timing around that is not great in terms of being able to get the information out for people to come back. But there was a suggestion that we close the Veasey Bridge, shut that one down. Suggestion of traffic lights on the Veasey Bridge, shut that one down. In terms of, we want actual boots on the ground and stop go. And people managing not only the Veasey Bridge junction, but the junction of Minworth Road and Marsh Lane and Birmingham Road, to maximise the capacity of the roads there in active management. Because you know as well as I do, if you've got people trying to turn right out of Marsh Lane into Birmingham Road, but everyone's trying to turn right into going towards the Veasey Bridge, but it's blocked, is that everything just comes to a grinding halt. So we need to have the opportunity of at least surviving that, or if it does go wrong, getting it put right again before things get too bad during that situation. Now, there was not necessarily pushback on that, but there was concerns raised that the relevant authorities wouldn't be able to be got in time. Bearing in mind that the Veasey Bridge is managed by Birmingham City Council. I put a great deal of pressure on in terms of trying to find out who will be making a decision at Birmingham's end, so we can add leverage if you're where it is. But I also detailed is that given this process has been planned for a great deal of time, and the amount of work that's been put on by local representatives right now trying to get things done and get it right, even though we weren't engaged early enough in this process in any way, shape or form. If we were to run out of time, my attitude and demeanour will change significantly. The response was, we hear you. So let's hope that that's actually the case. So I might clip some things out of that meeting just so you know just how hard that do press on your behalf. A couple of other things is that we're looking to see if we can get the planned resurfacing of the top end of Watton Lane up to that junction can be done during the course of the closure, or at least past, where that road's closed. Got a fairly favourable response on that. We might not get too favourable response in terms of getting some of the other potholes in the actual village itself sorted beyond a couple of major ones that actually are from a safety risk. But they are now going to be reviewing again the possibility at the bottom of Gilson Lane, where that's, like I said, you might need to take a lunar buggy if you're going to go and assess that area. But that is going to be assessed ahead of the roadworks, hopefully. Similarly, a couple of other things is that the first set of lights for the plant crossing in Gilson, managed to get those, will be shut for the duration of the works. We will be looking again at a stop-go on Gilson to make sure that that doesn't block up as much, because there's, to make sure there's always room for the traffic to go before people get let through. In terms of that, we are also looking just a little things that we can do to assist, but the lights that are on Marsh Lane and they're on Marsh Lane, to see if they're just set permanently to green, because there's going to be no traffic coming up from Coleshill side of Marsh Lane when you hit the 446. So can we have that just listed as green the whole time, rather than having it turned off, which might cause a certain amount of confusion, or having it constantly red, green, red, green? Can we just see what we can do on that? So little things on there, and an awful lot of signage. A lot of discussion as to what should be on the signage that was actually going to discourage people, because I'm trying to make the point is that it's not necessarily locals that are going to be the issue here. It's people from outside the region who are directed by sat navs and whatever to go through villages to see what's there, and hopefully that the signage can stop that. Because as well as I do, when people in lines of traffic, someone will go indicate left and go off the 4097 down through Curdworth, then there'll be 10 that follow. And it'll follow right until someone that doesn't. So if we can just put signage that discourages people to start, but might also discourage people behind to follow, then that's what we've got to try and do. Not ideal. But this wasn't a meeting to question the whole decision-making process. This is just trying to make things as right as we can. But there will be leaflets coming out with more information. These do include information on where to get updates on in relation to buses and so forth. Got nothing more on that right now. The X13 info should be updated as soon as we can. Haven't heard anything off Diamond buses as yet, apparently. But we'll keep going, we'll keep trying, and I'll keep you informed as much as I can. Take care, bye-bye.